Well, I finally did it. After over a year and a half of struggling and dating and beating my brains out, I finally pulled the trigger and just went ahead and bought a 2-up seat. And spoiler alert, it's not a Saddleman step-up. So yeah, like I said, I've been looking for a seat for about a year and a half now, a little longer. Back in August of 2022 when I bought this bike. Just like most people, I had these visions of all these modifications I wanted to make to the bike.
Sure, mods are cool.
And learned how easy it is to take a $20,000 motorcycle and run it up to $30,000, $40,000 motorcycle. But anyway, I kind of put on the back burner buying the seat because I was having such a hard time figuring out which one I wanted. So I went ahead and did my stage 2 and cruise control and a lot of other little odd and end things I did to the bike. But got to the point that I was going to have to make a decision on the seat. So at first I was looking at the Saddlemans like everybody else seems to prefer. And I can understand why. It's probably, in my opinion, the best looking seat on a lowrider. It just fits the curves of the bike perfectly. And that chopped up 90-degree turn in the back, you know, it just gives it that old chopper bar hopping look, you know, that most people like with these bikes. But when I sat on the thing, it just didn't fit me. I did have the chance to try one at a dealership. Somebody had a bike with one on it, and when I sat on it, it felt like it pushed me up on the gas tank. I'm 6'1", and I did not want to go any closer to the gas tank or any closer to the handlebars. I wanted to go backwards, if anything. But if I couldn't go back, at least stay the same, but do not push me forward on this bike. Now, I know there's probably a lot of people out there who are 6 foot or taller who are saying, well, I have one and it works for me just fine. And I'm like, no, great for you. I'm happy you found a seat that works for you. But it just did not feel comfortable to me being pushed up closer to the front of the bike. So I kept looking and kept reading and looking at reviews, and it seems like pretty much every seat had the same results. Pushes you up, pushes you up, pushes you up.
Pushing forward!
So I was just kind of giving up hope. But then I ran across one on the Whiplash Gambler, and the guy said it kind of brought you back a little bit. So that's where I was leaning. I was really leaning towards getting that Whiplash Gambler. However, it didn't quite work out like that. So stick with me and I'll explain to you exactly what I mean by that. We'll head to the house and I'll show you the seat I got. We'll get it installed and see what it looks like. Okay guys, this is the seat I got. This is the CNC motorcycle Squareback seat. And if you're thinking that this looks exactly like the Whiplash Gambler, you are correct. It's the exact same seat. The story behind this is I was going to go through Whiplash and order the seat. When I went to contact Whiplash, because I wanted to contact them because I wanted the gray stitching in here. And I wanted to find out what shades of gray they had. I was afraid if it was too light, it would look white. If it was too dark, it wouldn't match the bike. So I wanted to know what shade color gray threading do you have? Well, they don't have a phone number. So, which is a red flag to me. A company that will not give a phone number out for its customers says they either don't want to talk to their customer or they just don't care about their customers. So I went ahead anyway and I sent the company an email and I asked them what shades of gray threading do they have. After waiting about 4 hours, I finally get a response and he tells me they have red, black, green, blue, and all these different colors. He never told me what shade of gray they had. He never even answered my question. And I'm like, I don't have 3 or 4 days to just sit here and exchange emails back and forth, waiting to get answers to my questions. So I was really frustrated with them over that. I went ahead and got back online and just kept searching stuff. And I came across some threads from people who were saying that the CNC motorcycle seats are the exact same seats you get from Whiplash. So after looking at the website for CNC motorcycles, I've seen that they actually do have a phone number for customers to contact them. So I contacted CNC Motorcycles, spoke to somebody named Chuck, and he was super helpful, answered all my questions, and I was able to get all my questions answered and the seat ordered within about 5 minutes. Didn't take much time at all. Now I did go with what they call the shark gray stitching. It's not, they have a darker color stitching, but the darker color gray kind of blended in with the black, and you couldn't really tell it was there. So I went with a shark gray, which they said is the reason they had the shark gray is because it matched up well with the gunship gray on the Harley Davidsons. So that's what I got, and I got that double diamond stitch, which is 2 stitch lines instead of 1. I got it on the front and the passenger area, and I would just highly recommend it if you're looking at Whiplash seats that you go to this company first and give them a shot, because not only do they have better customer service, I actually paid $100 less for this one than I would have had to pay for the one off of Whiplash. And the only difference is CC puts their logo here and Whiplash puts their logo here. That's the only difference. You're paying an extra $100 for a Whiplash logo, which just doesn't make sense. And what I like about this one is if you want the logo showing, it goes on just like that. Or you can tuck it up under the seat and not have the logo showing. So it's your choice. So anyway, let's get this thing put on the bike and see what it looks like.
Oh, I almost forgot.
Okay, I did want to show you what the bottom of the seat looks like, just in case you're curious. This thing is completely covered in felt on the bottom. So there's nothing on here that's sharp, any kind of brackets or grommets that are fasteners on here, other than the one that tucks up under your gas tank area, and the one that has a screw go through it in the back. That's the only metal I see on this seat. Everything else is pretty well protected and covered in felt. And I will make this statement. I know when I took it out of the box, I have a lot of people who do their unboxing videos who say, oh, you can smell that fresh leather when you pull it out. Well, all I smelled was contact cement. And that just tells me that this thing was just made. You know, that they custom made it for me at the time I ordered, and then stuck it straight in the box and sent it to me. So it hadn't had time to dry out and air out yet. But I do not smell any kind of, that's been about 2 days ago, and I don't smell any contact cement now. So I think it's pretty well dried up and aired out and good to go. So we'll get this put on the bike and see what it looks like. Okay guys, so as you can see, I did get the seat put on the bike, and I did take it for a little spin, not too far, but just around the neighborhood to kind of get the first impressions of it. And I'm actually pretty happy with it, to be honest with you. I really wasn't expecting it to be as comfortable as it is. As you can see, it's not quite as aggressive as the Saddlemans are or the Leperas. You know, it's got a slightly gentler slope, but it's still got a sharper slope than it does on the stock seat. And I like the fact that it's a lot thicker in the back. That's really one of the main reasons why I chose this seat. It's for the passenger. This pad here is a little bit thicker than the other seats offer, so I wanted to take my passenger in mind when I made the decision on the seat. Size wise, it gives you a lot more support than some of the other seats do. I know this area right through here from side to side is 13 inches, is where the stock seat is 12. So you're gaining about an inch over the stock seat. From the handlebars to this point is the same distance. But however, because this has a sharper curve up than the stock seat does, you've actually got an inch from your handlebars to about this area of extra distance. But it's the same up here, but an inch more down here. So you are sitting back in the bike a little bit more. You feel more planted. You are sitting a little lower. It's a ½ inch lower, but you can't really feel that. At least I can't tell that ½ inch very much at all. But I can definitely tell that inch back, which helps me out a lot. I was really comfortable riding. I was really surprised at how it felt the first time out. I thought this thing would be pretty hard and have to be broken in. But starting out right out of the box, it's already softer than the stock seat. So, which I don't know if that's saying much or not. But it is a softer ride. You can feel yourself sitting down in the seat. You do feel more planted into it. You do feel little bit more relaxed and comfortable on the bike. And I really do like the fact that the passenger area provides that extra support for the passenger. Anyway, guys, if you're out there looking for a seat and you're struggling to decide, like the ordeal I went through, try to pick out a seat, I will put a link in the description below of C&C Motorcycles so you can kind of look at what they got. Again, you are going to be saving $100 or more off of the competitors. Now, there is another one out there called C&C Rider, or CC Rider, which is not the same company. CC Rider and C&C Motorcycle seats are two different companies. And everybody says that the CC Riders are really cheap, but I've never had one or owned one, and I have no idea the quality. But this one I got here from C&C Motorcycles is definitely good, top-notch quality, good quality seat. No, I can't complain at all. And anyway, like I said, the description will be in the link, and everybody out there, safe rides.